It's time for Six-Figure Trucking Period 21. Let's look at my compensation as a W-2 company driver. First, we're going to talk about the logs for the week. I was paid for 1,690 dispatched miles. I had 1,159 logged miles. My utilization this week was 49%. The day in orange was the day I was on a paid 34-hour reset. The days in green were days that I was on home time. Now, my unedited pay statement for period 21 of 2024. This includes all trips from May 12th to May 18th. The first trip this week started at the Fort Recovery, Ohio terminal and ended in Kinston, North Carolina. It had 5 stops in Virginia, including Salem, Harrisburg, and Richmond. It paid $763 for 868 miles. The second trip this week went from Kinston, North Carolina to the Greer, South Carolina terminal. It paid $199 for 330 miles. The third trip this week started at the Greer, South Carolina terminal and ended at my home in Shadydale, Georgia. It included 1 stop in Savannah. It paid $373 for 492 miles. This week, I was also reimbursed for my annual DOT physical. It is not mandatory that carriers pay this cost. Good carriers do. Empty miles paid $255. Securement paid $71. Hazmat miles paid $11. I was paid $100 for a 34-hour reset. Loaded miles paid $763, and stops paid $134. Total earnings this week was $1,334. We keep hearing that across the industry, drivers are getting less miles and making less money. I'm one that believes in hard numbers rather than anecdotal information. Here's the comparison of my miles and compensation for the years gone by. This looks at the compensation through week 21 of each year. 21 weeks into the year, my gross income is $44,783, and I've driven 57,908 miles. This averages out to $2,133 per week and 2,758 miles per week. Estimating that out over a year, I'm on track to earn $110,890 for 143,391 miles. Through week 21 of 2024, I've been loaded 93% of the miles, and 14% have been hazmat placarded miles. This is a map of the miles per state, year to date in which I've driven. This week, I did not add any additional states to the map. Here's the home time that I've taken this payroll year. I've been on home time 8 times so far this year, totaling 27.4 days through week number 21. I've also had 12 paid 34-hour resets on the road. I'm not paid hourly, but let's calculate this like an hourly job. For the week, my gross pay was $1,334 for 30 hours of work. If we break that down into a typical hourly job, it could be 30 regular hours and no hours of overtime, resulting in an effective pay rate of $44.16 per hour. Year to date, I've earned $44,783 for 1,127 hours worked. Out of those hours, 829 would be regular time, 298 would be overtime. If we calculate it weekly with overtime, the effective pay rate is $35.11 per hour. However, as straight time, it's approximately $39.74 per hour. Taking a look at the if only truck drivers were paid for every hour in the truck calculation page, 21 weeks have went by so far this year. That totals 3,360 hours. I have been on home time for 657 of those hours. That works out to 2,871 hours from the pre-trip leaving home to the post-trip returning home. My compensation through week 21 is $44,783. That works out to $15.60 per hour away from home. As always, make sure you're enjoying every day at work.